Good evening, and we are officially counting hours to the beginning of the new year. And I do hope most of what you were supposed to wrap up in this particular year you have already done, whether it's reaching out to friends and family, setting your New Year's goals, or just cutting off friends. All in all, I do trust you are doing fantastic. Let's take a short breather and then we'll begin.
This is KUTV Primetime News with Yvonne Kemuma.
On the sign language interpretation is Mutava Mungeli. Do engage with us on X at KUTV_Kenya and at Kemuma_Monari. We are streaming live on YouTube at KUTV News Kenya. Will begin. Now, President William Ruto earlier tonight addressed the nation in his New Year's Eve message from State House Eldoret, outlining the government's progress, challenges and priorities as the country heads into the new year. The president said the past year tested Kenya's resolve and demanded sacrifice and unity, noting that the year was intended to be the year that the country began earning dividends from difficult but necessary reforms. In the address, the president made it clear that the foundations laid so far position the coming year as a defining year for national transformation, citing gains in affordable housing, expanded healthcare through Social Health Authority, and improved agricultural yields. He said the foundation for change is firmly in place. However, the president acknowledged the year that is ending had its own challenges that tested national unity, stressing that execution is now key. He also raised alarm over rising drugs and substance abuse, particularly alcohol, affecting youths as young as in their teen years. The president declared the vice a national development and security emergency, vowing firm action in the new year.
And powerfully by ordinary citizens whose lives have been transformed. Stories like that of Naomi Mutendwa Kilunda, a single mother of 6, who watched her 17-year-old daughter Lydia struggle daily with a severe and abnormal breast overgrowth that caused pain, limited mobility, and emotional distress. After learning about the SHA program through her local assistant chief, Naomi enrolled and registered her children as dependents. Lydia was treated at Kenyatta National Hospital, where SHA fully covered the cost of a specialized corrective surgery amounting to Kenya shillings 168,000, as well as all post-operative follow-ups.
Well, we continue now. As the nation prepares to usher in the new year, Mombasa and other coastal towns are also gearing up for grand celebrations to welcome 2026, marked by vibrant fireworks of all kinds lighting up the sky and excited entertainment during the New Year's Eve. Residents of Mombasa, together with visitors, are expected to take part in the festivities, with the main events being organized at the Mama Ngina waterfront for the official New Year crossover ceremony.
Nimejipanga na marafiki, familia na watu wote wanakaribishwa.
All right, we are the biggest and only authorized fireworks brand in Kenya that is authorized to sell to the general public. All right, and licensed to sell to the general public safe fireworks for use at home and do it yourself, and environmentally friendly fireworks.
New expectations to start the year with a high note and to end it, well, of course, with God, with family, happiness and prosperity. Thanks.
Protocols for, for security. I think we'll be doing a fire alarm test, a mock fire alarm test today in the afternoon. And so we are prepared for our guests for sure.
Now, as President William Ruto enters the final phase of the third year in his first term, Kenyans are evaluating the implementation of the many promises he made during the campaign and later enshrined in government policy. Some are said to have been fulfilled, while others continue to face criticism or remain unresolved.
In his third State of the Nation address delivered in November 2025 before the National Assembly, President Ruto said his government has fulfilled many of its campaign promises and laid a strong foundation for economic and social transformation in the country. He emphasized that key targets have been achieved or are on track as part of Kenya's long-term development vision.
3 years ago, Kenya was ranked the 8th largest economy in Africa with a GDP of 115 billion US dollars. Today, our GDP has increased to 136 billion dollars, moving us up to become the 6th largest economy on the continent, according to IMF.
Among the achievements the president cited are economic stability and growth compared to early 2022 levels, job creation and skills development through programs such as Kazi Majuu and Nyota.
At a time like this, in 2022, Kenya was in distress. Inflation had soared almost to double digits. A fuel shortage threatened to paralyze our economy as oil marketers struggled to access dollars. We restored fiscal discipline. We eliminated wasteful subsidies. We rationalized public expenditure. We strengthened revenue collection and placed our economy on a path of recovery and sustainability. Inflation, which stood at 9.6% in 2022, has steadily declined to 4.6% as of last month.
The expansion of infrastructure, including the modern standard gauge railway, reforms in the education sector, increased capitation funds for schools, improvements to health insurance, and the recruitment of teachers are among the steps the government says are underway. The government also insists that millions of Kenyans have registered for and began benefiting from the new social health authority system.
When I assumed office, our education sector was in distress with a strained CBC transition, a chronic teacher deficit, universities on the edge of insolvency, and overstretched infrastructure. We moved quickly to restore education as the great equalizer. Through the student-centered funding model, scholarships and loans now follow need and merit, placing the learner at the center.
However, despite the government's claims of success, several promises have not been fully implemented or remain highly contested. One of these is the 5 trillion shilling development plan aimed at expanding infrastructure, energy production, irrigation, and transport networks over the next decade.
The legal debt is 12.5 trillion Kenya shillings. And therefore, in that span of less than 3 years, Kenya has borrowed 3.8 trillion Kenya shillings. And therefore, Kenya is borrowing 1.25 trillion Kenya shillings every year. And therefore, the money Kibaki borrowed in 10 years, we are borrowing every year. And therefore, every day, we are borrowing 3.5 billion shillings every day.
Although official statistics indicate national economic stability, many citizens complain about the high cost of living, heavy taxation, and economic hardship. Public opinion surveys show that many people do not feel the benefits of government statistics in their daily lives. Rajab Juma, KUTV.
Now, residents in Gitwembe in the volatile Angata-Barikoi border area have accused the police of colluding with their oppressors following an overnight vandalism attack that resulted in the destruction of property of unknown value in what they described as a gross violation of human rights. The residents said that during the attack, which occurred at dawn, the police refused to respond to their distress calls despite being phoned several times. The residents, some of whom sustained serious injuries after being beaten, said the police only allowed 2 people to record statements despite many others being injured and their property vandalized. The residents have also accused the Inspector General of Police of failing to address the security concerns of the residents. The residents have now called on the President to personally chair a security meeting in order to find a permanent solution.
Watu wetu wa Gitwembe wameingiliwa na askari wa serikali yetu ya Kenya kwa kuwapiga na kuwabora. Wamebeba kutoka kwa maduka, wamefunja na kuumiza watu wengi zaidi. Marisasi ni mingi. Hii ni live bullet iko hapa, ambaye mzee mmoja mfanyi biashara Roswe wakaacha kwa nyumba yake wakiwa wamebora zile pesa, wamebora watu wangu, na kesho kuna wanafunzi wanafungua shule. Tumeambiwa watu wawili waweze kuandika OB peke yake, na zile nyumba wamefunja ni nyingi, mbuzi zile wamebeba ni nyingi, vitu zile wamebeba ni vingi, mpaka kuku.
Wamechukua makondoo kama makuku, wamechukua manyumba wamefunja. Mimi peke yangu hasara yangu ni pesa ambayo wamenitolea, kama ni pesa ya shilingi 50.
Zilikuwa ngano 5, sukari zilikuwa 2 na mchele gunia 1. Hizo ndizo vitu wameenda nazo.
Well, we do hope the residents get relief. For now, let's take a short breather and then we mark with more reports.
Hi, my name is Stella Tioi.
Jina langu naitwa Kemuma James.
This is Mandela Gaya.
Ugonjwa ulipokuja ulichukua siku 3 ukaniweka in coma. 20 wamezikwa, 2 ndio wako hai.
I don't even know how it feels to see.
I feel like I cannot express myself well the way somebody who can walk can actually express themselves.
Ilichukua muda mwingi mrefu tena mpana ili kuikubali kwamba mimi siwezi tembea tena.
I've come to actually accept myself.
Ukijaribu kumsimamisha mtu mwambie tafadhali nionyeshe njia,
they find it quite strange talking to you.
You should just make schools integrated,
inclusive setups,
by providing the right facilities. Ni nguzo na uso wa jamii. Kupanda shuka akawa tuzo, ukakamavu wake ukatii na kumfanya mwenye bidii. Kwa machozi na makeke akabaini jinsi ya kuweni. Huyu ni mwanamke ngangari kwa jinsi alivyo ng'ari. Mimi ni mwanamke mwake. Usikose kutazama kipindi cha mwanamke mwake nami Caroline Kimwele.
You are watching KUTV Primetime News with Yvonne Kemuma.
And welcome back. Many thanks for keeping it. KUTV News at 9. On the sign language interpretation is Mutava Mungeli. Continue engaging with us on X at KUTV_Kenya, at Kemuma_Monari. Now, a group of youths in Thika Town has chosen to welcome the new year through action rather than celebration. Driven by a commitment to environment conservation, the youths took part in cleaning various residential areas, clearing blocked drainage systems, roads, and public spaces in the Makongeni and Kiganjo areas. Speaking about the campaign, the group's leader, Mbugwa Wanyoike, said the initiative was born out of frustration with the neglect of the environment. The Clean Environment campaign aims to encourage residents to take collective responsibility for cleanliness and environmental conservation. Now, we'll continue to another report. It is a profession that demands courage, dedication, and selfless spirit. It requires standing in the midst of danger so that the voice of society can be heard. Yet, at times, the pen falls silent, the microphone goes quiet, and the camera is set aside not by choice, but by death. Since the beginning of the year, Kenya's media industry has continued to lose its pillars, men and women who devoted their lives to telling the stories of the others until their own journeys were cut short. Today we remember them, we honor them, and we tell the stories of Kenyan journalists who passed away this year.
The year 2025 has left a heavy mark on Kenya's media landscape. It is a year in which the families of journalists, newsrooms, and audiences have found themselves mourning the loss of those who served as the voice of society. In print journalism, Rasna Wara, a writer and social affair commentator with the Nation Media Organization, passed away, leaving behind a legacy of bold and truthful writings that challenged societal system. Also departed is Leonard Mambo Mbotela, a broadcasting legend who left an indelible mark through his iconic program Je Hu Ni Ungwana. For decades, his voice lived on Kenyan radio, teaching values, respect, and patriotism. Veteran journalist and newsroom program personality Njoroge Mwaura passed away in February while receiving treatment at a hospital in Nairobi. He will be remembered for his professionalism and for his popular segment Njoroge's Notebook, which focused on analyzing key national issues. In tragic circumstances, Frederick Parsayo, a journalist with the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation KBC, was found dead in his home. His death raised many questions and caused deep sorrow among media professionals. The media fraternity is also mourning the death of journalist Silas Opolo, who served in various media houses including Nation Media Group. He died in a road accident, and his passing has left significant gap among journalists and the communities he served through his writing. Radio also lost a well-known voice, Edward Kwach, a presenter at Spice FM. For many years, Kwach entertained and connected listeners through engaging programs and through provoking social discussion. Still within the radio space, the industry lost veteran journalist Charles Omuga, who worked with Radio Taifa. Omuga passed away on August 11 this year. He used his career to highlight sensitive issues, question authority, and defend the rights of citizens. Kimani Mbugwa is among the young journalists whose dreams were abruptly cut short by death.
Hi guys, Kimani Mbugwa here, former star of TV. Feels so bad to say that right now because I'm not there anymore. But niko kwa shida and I need your help because kama ningekuwa nimekufa watu wangekuwa wanasema Kimani alikuwa hivi, Kimani alikuwa hivi.
He was recognized for his work in journalism and his contributions to the media, with his journey reflecting the real challenges facing by journalists, including mental health issues, an area now increasingly receiving attention within the industry. December this year was marked by sorrow in the journalism sector following the death of Amimo, the head of KBC Doluo language radio unit Mayenga FM. He was remembered for his dedication to journalism and his firm commitment to professionalism ethic. Before tears could even dry, the industry suffered another blow with the death of Rashid Eid, a video journalist with the Standard Group. Rashid worked with KTN for more than 2 decades and was described as a kind and patriotic individual. These deaths are not just numbers, they are interrupted stories, halted dreams, and silent voices. Yet through their work, these journalists will continue to live on in the memories of their colleagues, in media archives, and in the hearts of Kenyans. Akida Kasim, KUTV.
Now in sports, in an English Premier League encounter, Mikel Arteta, Arsenal recorded a convincing 4-1 victory over Aston Villa, ending Villa's 11-match unbeaten run and moving to the top of the Premier League heading towards the end of the year. Chelsea were held at a 2-2 draw by Bournemouth in an exciting match at Stamford Bridge, while Manchester United were forced to a 1-1 draw by Wolves at Old Trafford. Tomorrow's EPL fixtures will see Liverpool host Leeds United, while Pep Guardiola's Manchester City will be away to Sunderland. $365 bulletins done and dusted. We call it a year on this desk. On behalf of the entire team that has been working throughout the year, we wish you a happy and prosperous new year. On the sign language interpretation is Mutava Mungeli. My name is Yvonne Kemuma. Have a good night and happy new year.
Baada ya kutafuta kazi, tunaweza kuanzisha miradi yetu ambayo ingetusaidia kubadilisha maisha ya